Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Acupuncture is My Life. Now, in this episode, I want to respond to quite a few messages I've received over the past week and a half on the Acupuncture is My Life app. Now, there's been quite a few individuals from several different countries that have been asking me to do a podcast discussing the immune system. Now, these questions, I know many of you have been, sending repeat messages. It's not that I'm ignoring you. It's a pretty broad question to some extent. And I think I'm going to try and be as creative as possible and do a 3-part series on things you need to know about the immune system and how an acupuncturist views the immune system. So I hope this will help many of you out there globally in answering your questions regarding the immune system. I'm going to be very general. And also, if you don't already have the Acupuncture is My Life app, feel free to download it. It's free at the Apple Play Store, at the Apple Store if you're an iPhone user, and the Google Play Store if you're an Android user. Now, a few things, and I'll start with, I guess, one person's. No, as a matter of fact, I'll go beyond one person's question. First and foremost, please understand that the immune system is vital for our overall health. It plays a super important role in keeping you healthy because it's there to protect you. Now, I'm going to turn this into a 3-part series, and in the 3rd part, I'll discuss the immune system from an acupuncturist point of view. But just in general, as one question was asked over the Acupuncture is My Life app, and the question message to me was, what is innate immunity? Now, there's so much going on globally, and there are a lot of people that are unaware of a lot of things, and I can understand that. And the Acupuncture is My Life, we're here to offer you, the best in the form of our opinion, professional opinion, okay, for legal purposes, our opinion, how we view things, and you could take it with a grain of salt. But to answer that question, what is innate immunity? It's you see, your immune system has 2 defense mechanisms, and innate immunity is one of them, which is basically your mucous membranes as well as your skin, which acts as an internal as well as an external defense system to stop. It prohibits infectious or pathogenic factors from entering your body and spreading throughout your body. Okay, that's your innate immune system. Okay, now what happens here is your skin and your mucous membranes don't stop everything. I mean, it's a strong defense barrier that stops a lot, but not everything. So there are things such as viruses and bacteria and fungi and parasites that do happen to pierce this barrier. And you'll be surprised as to percentage-wise, that's a very, very low percent. For the most part, innate immunity stops a lot, so much more than you can imagine. And someone else asked, what is adaptive immunity? Well, Now let's talk about like when the bacteria, those bacteria or virus that does get past your skin and your mucous membranes, which is your innate immunity. Small percentage. Adaptive immunity is now your second line of defense. And for those few pathogens that make it past, your adaptive immunity sort of comes into play now to fight off this infectious agent, that being either a virus or a bacteria. Now, adaptive immunity now remembers Mr. Virus and Mr. Bacteria that pierced and was destroyed. I'm going to remember if Mr. Virus or Mr. Bacteria has brothers or sisters that attempt to come in, to pay us a visit again. And this is called immunologic memory. Because if they do, we'll be ready. And this part of your immune system is the immune system that reacts, strikes quicker the next time around, in which you are presented with this pathogen again. And that's if it gets past the innate aspects of your immune system. Good example is you get chicken pox. How many times do you get chicken pox? Why? Because of adaptive immunity. Now, being concerned about getting older in life and your immune system becoming weaker. In response to several people that brought up the age factor, yes, the effectiveness of your immune system decreases as you age. Your immune system does become less efficient. So let's just use some of your killer cells, your cells that are responsible for destroying pathogens that affect the body. Let's use macrophages. Macrophages are known for, let's say, destroying cancer cells, okay, among other types of cells. They become less efficient as you age. Now, you want to stay healthy, yes, of course, and you want to eat right, and we speak of that a lot on the Acupuncture's My Life show. That is to sort of slow down that process. Okay. Because yes, macrophages, it becomes more difficult for them to destroy cancer cells. And yeah, when you tend to see more aged people with cancer than you will young people. But attempting to stay healthy, it slows that process, that decline. You can't stop it. You really can't. But if you really want to slow the demise of this process down, this is why, again, I say over and over, see your acupuncturist for regular wellness visits. See your physician on an annual basis, some cases semi-annual, but see your acupuncturist for regular wellness visits. You remove a lot of this burden, this concern, because you don't need to feel or be stressed out as you're aging. That's the least of what you need in your life. Because I've said it before and I'll say it again, health is wealth. The wealth isn't in the bank. It's not in the safe. It's not in your pocket. It's not in your purse. It's not under the mattress. It's not in the shoebox in the closet. It's not under the doghouse in the backyard. It's in you. Another thing is, many individuals are unaware that their immune system is representative of the environment in which they live. Now, you age faster, meaning your immune system, the demise of your immune system happens or comes quicker if you live in a chaotic environment, highly stressful environment, overly populated environment, an area geographically where food sources is bad. Now, you can be born one of your sibling can be your twin, and one can live in an extremely peaceful environment and you can live in an extremely chaotic environment. Your immune systems are going to be so different, albeit you guys are twins. So different relative to the environment in which you live. Because I've had, interestingly enough, someone from Greece was wondering why is she more prone to sickness than her twin? And I responded to her message as to where does your twin live? And her twin lived in a nice area in Portugal, and she was very happy with her family. But where she lived was quite hectic, as she put it. And again, I say no names, and many request that I bring their name up and their location. That's not going to happen. But I explained to her, the health of your immune system is linked to the environment in which you live. So she went on to ask, well, does stress negatively impact the immune system? And I said, yes, it does. Many individuals, will encounter, let's say, bouts with insomnia, and because she listens to the Acupuncture's My Life podcast, she understands the importance of sleep, a good night's sleep. And I explained to her, now, this stress becomes chronic. It's going to damage your immune system, and it does. Because many individuals faced with chronic stress have an elevated level of cortisol running through their blood, which is not good. So they'll find themselves catching colds a lot, infections, because the cells of their immune system becomes less responsive. Yes. Becomes less responsive. And I'm glad she was willing to take my advice and began seeing a local acupuncturist, and I referred her to one because I have colleagues on 6 different continents, many different countries. The Acupuncture's My Life network it's out there. I'll leave it at that. It's not into that bragging or whatever, and don't want to be seen in that light. But we do enjoy referring people from other countries to acupuncturists within their country that we're affiliated with. That's why sometimes you'll hear me say, see your local acupuncturist or contact acupuncturist. My life. Do we get those few cases where, hey, you're my excuse to take a trip to New York City? Yeah, which is cool. That's so cool. But most can't do that. And it doesn't necessarily have to do with economics. It can do with time constraints. It can have a lot to do with what's going on today and travel restrictions. But you hear me say a lot, see your local acupuncturist. It's for a reason. But in the third episode of this 3-part series, I'll even brief you on how an acupuncturist views the immune system. I'll continue with part 2 in the next episode. But in the interim, please make acupuncture a part of your life. Because acupuncture is my life. What's yours?